Can you speak to Chris Godwin's, possible availability, and I guess he's taken off the PUP list?
He's taken off the PUP list, but he's got to get in football shape and everything else, so I wouldn't expect him to play early on.
Is there a goal? Is there a week that would be the ideal return for him?
No, just when he's ready. Just when he's ready. I mean, he's been out a long time. He's got to get in football shape. Tristan the same way, but they'll be off, and then we'll see how it goes going forward.
That was Todd Bowles, head coach of the Tampa Bay Bucks, on Chris Godwin. We got plenty of Roto World player news. Bowles is a real jolt. A real jolt of caffeine.
He must be great behind the scenes. Just, let me tell you, I'm not ready to run through a brick wall.
You know what's funny? When he was coaching the Jets, I always ask people, I'm like, is Todd just always just like this all the time? And they're like, no. And like sometimes during halftime, he'll come in and flip a table and scream. Wow. Yeah. And I'm like, so it's just a great switch. That's impressive.
Yeah.
He just has that kind of switch with the players. And every player loves Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
Loves him.
The injury updates are great, particularly if he doesn't want to be there. They'll be like, oh, Mike Evans, how's he doing? Hamstring.
Yep. Yeah, when he's ready, he's ready. Yeah. And you know what? I kind of respect it.
Yeah.
Because he just gets sick of being asked it, and he doesn't know.
Yeah. Team plays hard as well. That team always plays hard.
Yes, there's no denying that.
Professionally coached.
And he is being honest here about Chris Godwin, because while Adam Schefter reports they're going to activate Godwin off the PUP list, he's unlikely to play until October because this is a serious injury. I feel like we found out how serious it was much later on, where they want to actually have a slow ramp up here, which in our world, Jay, is a huge deal because Emeka Egbuka right now is one of the biggest talking points in all of fantasy.
Yeah, I think the thing with Godwin is that it's not just he's, likely going to miss the first month of the season. It's when does he actually get back to being fantasy viable? Because that date is going to be, I think, at least a few weeks past when he does return, especially if, just how is this going to unfold? Like, Emeka Egbuka is going to get a lot more of the offense than initially anticipated. I think he's going to look good in that role, and I don't think he's going to get sidelined as soon as Chris Godwin comes back. So I think that Chris Godwin now is a distant third in the pecking order of who you want to draft on the Bucs, certainly. And last year, Chris Godwin was incredible. He was playing at like a top 10 wide receiver in the sport kind of level, but this is a severe injury. I don't think it was supposed to have multiple surgeries, and it's required multiple surgeries. So I think the idea that Godwin, who is a player who, is dependent on burst and speed, that he is going to be back to Chris Godwin this year now seems somewhat unlikely. So I think that he's a guy who can potentially provide value in the back half of the season, but I don't have any real interest in drafting Chris Godwin where he's going now.
Yeah, you're going to have to be really patient. That guy, again, on the YouTube comments, what's more chill, Jay's tracksuit collection or Todd Bowles answering any question? It's a battle of the Titans right there. We'll see how it plays out this season. Listen, going back to Egbuka here, whose ADP has been soaring. Right now in redraft, he's going around the 105th pick. That's wide receiver 42. Think of the tier that is Cooper Kupp, Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings kind of range. When we were talking to Matthew this morning, he was saying for him it's at a point where he's going to be closer to ranked as wide receiver 30. I know in his latest rankings he's wide receiver 33 right now, but this is someone in your league. If he's not taking in the first 35 wide receivers, what he can do for you the first 5+ weeks of the season, and Guillotine's going to be a totally different beast because he'll have a massive impact there, it can be league altering. Because even if he cools off with the return of Godwin, you're probably going to have a solution by then.
Yeah, and I think what is happening to Travion Henderson's ADP, which I think has maybe now gotten a little bit out of control, where this guy's being, I don't think people expect him to be a workhorse back, but he's going around pick 50 now in drafts. I think that is the rise that should be happening to Emeka Egbuka, where he should be soaring to similar levels as Travion Henderson. I think there's a reasonable chance, just given age profiles, that Egbuka could outperform Mike Evans this year. I'd make Mike Evans the favorite there, but that's in the realm. This guy was drafted pro-ready. They spent a first-round pick on him for a reason, despite having a loaded wide receiver room as is. And this team, they threw the ball a lot last year. A lot of it as well that made Baker Mayfield succeed was a lot of short stuff, a lot of screens, a lot of design plays like that. So I think that Egbuka, he's going to come in and just from the start be a guy who, produces at a wide receiver 2 type of level.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm excited about Emeka Egbuka. He's one of the most pro-ready prospects in the draft.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.